earlier, he won't be able to stay the whole evening, so whenever you need to step out, we'll take it personally.
Got a Rotary Fireside, another community event going at the same time. Hi, I'm Ron Hansen. I hope I don't have to tell you too much who I am. I've been on the council ever since inception, 14 and a half years. Now I actually was the one who opened our first bank account, signed the lease on City Hall, and along with 6 other council members got this city rolling. Thank you very much for having this forum tonight. For me, it's a little bit like Old Home Week. I used to live right around the corner here in Northridge, and my daughter actually attended Aldercrest school. So we used to drive her to school from Northridge over to Aldercrest on a regular basis. I've worked on a variety of projects. One of the biggest ones, of course, is the Aurora Corridor project. I'd like to be around long enough to see that particular project finished all the way from 145th to 205th. And that's why I'm running for one more term here on the council. In the meantime, I have gotten myself on several regional councils and boards and worked at the national level somewhat also to help get the funding for that project. Even before the city was incorporated, I used to serve at Aldercrest School. Our Kiwanis Club had a project at Aldercrest where we gave parties for the kids there. So I've actually been inside and worked with the people who are the residents there at Aldercrest School. My life has been consisted of public service all 45 years at this point. I've been involved in Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and Kiwanis. Did a stint with the Exchange Club, did a stint with Rotary. Service is what I have done all my life. Work with the community and listen to the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Okay. With that, I'm going to read some questions, and we're going to let each council member have 2 minutes to answer the questions. If some of you were here last week, some of these are similar, some are completely different, some might sound a little bit the same. So, question 1, and what we'll do is I'll start with Mr. Hansen. This time we'll start, it'll be easier if I just keep things in this sort of order. In the past, Shoreline has been innovative in its ability to form partnerships with the school district to meet the need for parks and recreation facilities. Today, there is at least a fairly common perception that the spirit of collaboration has deteriorated. The Aldercrest issue and the Shoreline Historical Museum are just 2 recent examples. So the question, and this has a couple of parts to it, I'm not going to ask you, you don't have to answer bullet by bullet, but I'd like to hear from you about the following. Do you share the view that the city's relationship with the school district and or other partner organizations has deteriorated? Why did it get this way, if you do agree? As a council member, what would you do to improve the relationship? And if you are a current council member, as you are, what efforts have you made to improve the health of that relationship?
Okay. First of all, I guess I disagree that the relationships have deteriorated to any significant extent. You have to realize that the school district has their organization to run, and they have their goals, and the city has its organization to run, and it has its goals. We've gone into many projects and worked out very well with the school district. For instance, Paramount Park, which Superintendent Walker mentioned earlier. Spartan Gym is a great project. The pool is working out jointly excellently. The soccer fields, we've done an immense amount of improvement of fields. And when the school district has property that can be used for recreation in the city has tried to accommodate them on that. Yeah, there's some concern over the historical museum. It remains to see what happens on that issue. I don't have any set idea of what's going to finally come to pass on that, but that's why we have communication between the 2 entities. What have I done individually to help the relationship? I try to be friendly. I try to be informed. And I try and let the school district do its business, and I'm also trying to make sure that the city does its business and that we operate within our charters and our rules. So that's basically my take on the situation.
Thank you.
Interesting. In your view, is it important to seize these rare opportunities to secure more land as parks and open space whenever possible? Yeah, the answer is yes, whenever possible. I go back to the formation of the city, and we had a chance to take over the parks from King County, and there were a lot of people among the citizenry that said we should not take over those parks. That especially the pool was a big liability. The pool was built with forward trust funds and was a King County facility, although I believe it is on school district land. And we said, no, we're going to, the council, myself and several others of us, got together and we said, no, we're going to take on these parks. And I'm certainly glad we did take on the parks. And I think we have greatly improved the parks. And the quality of them and the services that we offer. A couple years ago, we had a bond issue, and we acquired some more parks. With that bond issue, we also used some of that money to improve fields. Shoreline was kind of a bum place to come to for the soccer leagues a few years ago. Now we're being looked as one of the prized communities because of the number of fields, high quality fields that we have developed in Shoreline. We've acquired several other park facilities. We've had some property donated to us, but we do, at the present time, have to live within our budget. Right now, our capital budget and our operating budget really don't allow us to do a whole lot of expansion in the park area. Is that time already? Okay, that's fine. All right. Without a bond issue, we can't do it at this time.
All right.
Is neighborhood equity important? Yes, I think neighborhood equity is important. Should it be a city goal to ensure children and adults equitable access to the parks across our many neighborhoods? Yes, definitely that is the case. And there's a lot of ways that we can provide parks also. Not all of them have to be provided directly through the city. My Rotary Club has put amenities into the interurban trail. The other Rotary Club in Shoreline has put amenities into Ron Park. There are other neighborhood groups that are working to improve Ron Park. We've had scouting groups do work in parks, put in bridges, etc. And quite frankly, admit I am not familiar with the Ballinger open space, so I do not know what it's like. But if you already have the piece of ground, then I think you ought to be looking, I think we ought to be looking, the city, for partnerships for people to improve that ground and make it into a very desirable park environment. That seems to me to be probably the best opportunity for getting more park space in this particular area at this particular time. It's something that can be done almost right away. Yes, our Parks Director can and does offer a lot of assistance, technical assistance, what have you, in helping to develop that kind of property.